Hey guys, welcome back to Arry The Stag. TR Tony here. This week I'm just going to quickly circle back on some of the history of Eddie the S, the 2500 Triumph Saloon. We've had her for a little while, as you know. She's still away at Allen's being investigated for the oil pressure situation. I haven't heard from her for a bit. Actually, I must give him a ring. I've been away working. Anyhow, I was going through some books and records in the office the other day. I was just moving stuff around. I happened to find a whole bunch of stuff about the history of Eddie and what has happened to her in the past. So I just thought this weekend I'd share with you a little bit of that and show you the previous lives that she's had. And there's been quite a few. So I suppose the first surprise, actually, looking at the 2500S pack, is that, and some of you may already know this, in fact, you've been following the story, that Eddie the S, EOD 195, actually started out life with a PNR 83R registration. And if you get to look at the various videos on the windscreens and stuff, it has had some etching that shows that original number. So at some point in the past, it's been changed over to EOD 195, which I kind of quite like, standing for Eddie the S. This is the Triumph 2500S sales booklet that I managed to acquire a little while ago. It was an eBay item. We have covered this actually as a separate video, so I won't go through it again today, but suffice to say, the 2500S, as we know, was a very glitzy, top-end, high-end motor designed for the successful business person, the jet-setting lifestyle, stepping out of an aircraft onto a business meeting in your fantastically chauffeur-driven 2500S. It really was a stunning car. So that's all interesting. Let's get into the weeds of what we found in here then, and I'll show you a bit more about that. And it's really interesting what people collect, isn't it? This is a Country Life February 16th, 1967 cutting from Standard Triumph Sales Limited. Looks like one of their original adverts, and obviously it's a Mark 1. You can denote that by the shape of the bonnet, which was very different to our Eddie, which is Mark 2. But look at this. This was obviously marketing the value of the estate car being lean, low and lovely. And you're ready for the Triumph 2000, in this case, estate. So whoever had Eddie has put this in the pack as a way of reminding us. And I remember some of these adverts going back to those days and just how halcyon some of the 70s days were. And again, whoever owned Eddie must have had a bit of a fetish for the estate version. Again, this is another Mark 1 estate version of the Triumph 2000. We saw Alan the welder. He had one of these cars shortly for a period of time, and in fact we actually had the petrol tank out the back, because for those that don't know, the Triumph Stag petrol tank is identical to the Triumph Estate 2000. So if ever you're looking for a new Triumph petrol tank, then that's where you need to go and have a look for an original one. Yes, some of the holes and the vents are slightly different, but it's all easily configured by use of pipes and stuff. What I love about these original Triumphs, you don't see it on Eddie, are these kind of wheel covers there with the Globe Triumph logo on. They really did look good, and you get a sense for the time here, don't you? And a guide for lovers of fine things, including furniture, and the Triumph, in this case 2000. This is an excerpt. Someone's printed this off. It's a buyer's guide from, I can't see, oh yeah, 2013 this was. March 2013, someone's been onto the online and looked at the Triumph 2000 2500 2.5 register, and was a feature in the Practical Classics magazine of that time, and the previous owner has managed to collate a lot of information about Triumph 2000. You bear in mind that the 2500S is just the same kind of body shell, the kind of areas to watch out for us, which we know and love, all under the sills, the bottoms of the doors, usual places that these things go that we're all familiar with. And this time of year in the UK, obviously with the salt on the roads, that doesn't help the old tin worm and encourages it, in fact. All the different varieties, all different models here, which are kind of quite interesting too. So right back to the 1963 year 2000 twin Stromberg one, all through the different derivatives, 2.5 PI you can see there, through to the 2000 Mark II, 1969 to 77 with a longer nose, larger boot, revised fascia, modified cylinder head, facelift including plastic grille, 1975. So ours is a late one, so it's kind of in that bracket, and kind of quite interesting to see how the car has evolved over those years. And this was October 2001 when this was produced, and a really interesting read if you can look it up online or get a back copy. You know, how the car originally looked with that very different nose and boot, in fact, to how it ended up in the end is kind of quite a journey. Again, there's another estate there, but that's kind of Eddie, isn't it? I'm sure you'll recognise that in an Inca yellow in this particular diagram. And again, lots of other good tips on what to watch for, steering and suspension, looking at the engines and the things to watch out for when buying it, looking at rust, seams, valances, inner arches, watching out for rear spring mountings and all those kind of things. Front footwells we know can corrode, so that age-old corrosion issue, and quite a few details there in terms of specifications, which again I won't go through today. But interesting how this car was presented. That's the Mark 1. You can see there the difference in the front of the bonnet compared to the Mark 2. I personally prefer the Mark 2, but it does make it look like a Stag, although there are no particular panels that are identical and interchangeable. I understand it's although it looks similar, they are very different cars. Okay, so back to Eddie itself and the kind of provenance that's come with this pack, and you can see here some of the photographs that have been left in the envelope that I picked up with the car when we got it. There she is there, sporting that original PNR 83R number, and so that's, as I said, etched very much into the car itself. And looking at it, it hasn't really changed much, apart from perhaps the 2500S steering wheel there, looking a lot more defined in this photo than it is actually in the car itself currently. But largely I think Eddie has survived pretty well. She really has over the years. Engine, as we know, this was the one that blew up and looked all tidy and together. We've recently changed that over, as you know. We just got her into Allen's for the minute just to check out on oil pressures and stuff. And this tow bar appears to have been with the car for quite some time. So whoever had the car before, I don't know if that's a Trader or a Caravan electric. There's certainly road electrics on there. Modern Caravan electrics have another plug socket the other side of the tow bar, grey usually, that power the interior, but those would likely be for road lights. So it could have been a Trader or a small Caravan that this car towed about in its earlier years. And finishing up with yeah, some nice shots of Eddie. It's quite funny actually, because this car, although it looks signal red to you and me through the lens of a camera, actually it's a kind of sunburst orange in colour, which is kind of quite a surprise and took my breath away when I first saw it. It didn't affect my ambition or will to buy the car, but it isn't the bright red it appears to be in these pictures. It's a company called Coverdale. This was their retail catalogue for 2009, so Eddie obviously has had quite a bit of attention, kind of carpets and spray products, vinyl and felt, and actually when I looked into the pack, here are two swatches of carpet, which is about to see them there in the light. It's a dark charcoal stroke black, which has been the carpets of choice for Eddie. So certainly does look very nice, and probably gives me a bit more confidence about the fact that she's been so well looked after. Actually, I know she's been parked up for 3 or 4 years prior to me buying her, so it hasn't been too many years that this has been in use. So looking forward to seeing it again. And then these are somewhat faded now, but you can see Eddie there. Again, I don't know if it's outside somebody else's house, but these photographs have faded with age, but all part of the character and the provenance of the car, which adds value, doesn't it? I think, anyway. And the last piece of the puzzle, and it did throw us actually when we had the engine out. We took the bonnet out, there was all sorts of wiring in the car, and somebody commented actually that the car has got halogen headlights. It's had a 5 3/4 inch halogen conversion kit fitted. This came, I guess, from Rimmers by the title on the page. And bless them, whoever did this electrical work, it has left chapter and verse the instructions as to what they did to change the relays over, make it compliant and make it work and do it safely. So that's a heck of a lot of work in its own right, I think. So whoever did this, I'd love them to get in touch actually and see what's what. And they've even included a pièce de la résistance, the halogen headlight general wiring diagram. So that's a real professional diagram, isn't it? Written by a pro, I reckon. So look forward to getting under the bonnet again and having another look at this, because I wasn't sure some of the main beams were working when we went on the test drive the other day. So I just need to have a look at that. But good work whoever did it, and very kindly to have left information behind for us years later to pick up and show and see exactly what they've done, including it had an inspection lamp strapped to the underside of the bonnet, which you could switch on and off when looking into the engine, which I thought was kind of quite cool. So there you go, there's the Arry The S and the pack of stuff that's come with it, and it's all good. Good stuff, guys. Well, I hope you found that interesting. If you want to see more from Arry The Stag, just click the links here, join us and subscribe us, and watch this great film we've put together for you. There's some smashing stuff on the channel, and like, follow and subscribe, please do. Join us again. We'll see you soon on Arry The Stag. Cheers for now. Bye.